The Warrens are back for one last time, and this particular haunting is going to push them to the edge. Something from the past has come back to reap what it's owed, but the Warrens are having none of it. It's the final adventure in a 12-year franchise. Get ready for some cliched Conjuring bingo with a heartfelt family theme in The Conjuring, the last one. Hello there, you loose units, and welcome back to another episode of Spicy Boy Reviews. I'm, of course, your host, Andrew Iles. That's right, the fourth Conjuring film in the main franchise, directed here by Michael Chavez, who's known for directing the last Conjuring film, and The Nun too. This installment is a story all about how the Smurl family's life got turned upside down. It's 1986 and the Smurl family are Catholics with 8 people living under one roof in Pennsylvania.
Look at them, bloody Catholics, filling the bloody world up with bloody people they can't afford to bloody feed.
One day, the grandparents decide to buy a present for the second oldest daughter in the family after her confirmation, which is the creepiest looking, totally not haunted mirror in existence, which of course could only go well. Of course, it's not long since the mirror arrived in the house that creepy shit starts to happen. The family begin to experience things flying across the room, levitating dolls, pasty white spirits who have indulged in some of the Joker's smiley products, and a tad bit of blood vomiting. Of course, all of this becomes an absolute media frenzy, so who are you going to call? Not the Warrens, that's for bloody sure, as they are semi-retired due to Ed Warren's failing heart condition. Stakes! However, while this demonic haunting fuckery is happening in the Smurl family home, Ed and Lorraine's daughter, Judy, begins to show repeated signs of having her mother's supernatural ability. We learn that way back in 1964, Judy was pronounced deleted upon birth. But Lorraine's desperate praise to the good Lord brought her back to life. However, all of this was while Ed and Lorraine Warren were investigating the exact same mirror that now sits in the Smurl family home. What a coinkydink! Judy learns of the Smurl family struggle, so she decides to nuts up and goes and investigates on her own, which of course can only go well. However, Ed and Lorraine Warren learn about this and they're having none of it! They are forced to follow in her footsteps, get roped into the spiritual conundrum, and we have a Conjuring movie. This film has been marketed and heavily rumoured that it's the last film installment starring the Warrens. And I've got to say, if that is the case, I truly hope so. Because this film was not only heartfelt and entertaining, it was also a really nice ending of their story, wrapping a nice little bow on everything.
Oh, I see. Then everything is wrapped up in a neat little package.
Say what you will about the real-life Warrens, being swindlers and snake oil salesmen and whatnot, but it's so comforting to see Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga play these roles yet again. They have so much chemistry on screen together, it's amazing. And it feels like a warm, comforting blanket watching them do their thing on the big screen. You know, like you're watching a loving relationship between your mum and dad. I was not the biggest fan of the last installment, The Devil Made Me Do It. But in that review, I did praise these two actors for the same thing. And this film heavily follows the structure of part 1 and 2, and it works in its favour. However, the film is very long, clocking in at 2 hours and 15 minutes. But honestly, I didn't mind because I was savouring every minute with these characters. And I was more than happy to enjoy the ride. While the haunting was going on with the Smurl family, we were jumping back and forth between the Warrens as well, where they're at in their life, having a peek into their family, especially with a plot line involving Judy and her new fiancé Tony. And honestly, I thought it was all great stuff. I've seen a bit of flack online that, we go to see a Conjuring film for the haunting and the jump scares and the hoo-ha and all that jazz. And the film focused too much on the Warrens' family life and this side plot with the fiancé and whatnot. But honestly, that was my favourite part of the film, peeking into their life. It was heartfelt, it was entertaining, I was totally on board. And if this film is the last installment of the Warrens' story, I think they've totally earned this. They can indulge a little bit on their family life. But yeah, they spend a lot of time on that sort of part of the story, and it's not until the halfway point of the movie when they actually meet the Smurl family, which I thought was absolutely acceptable. And as for the horror in this film, hey, it's a Conjuring movie. You know exactly what you're gonna get. We get some super tense scenes with some great
anticipation
and a great payoff with a few little jump scares. However, is the threat as good as part 1 and part 2? Not really. But this time, they made it personal. And I was on board. Did this film stick the landing, however, with the Warren story? I'm going to say, absolutely. Again, this is not an accurate telling of the Warrens and their life. These films have done their own thing, and the Warrens are just pretty much characters at this point, in name only. And it's really good to see this film going absolutely gangbusters in the box office. Horror is alive and well. And the film was very sentimental at the end, not gonna lie. But my God, I think they've earned it. If you're a Conjuring fan, I foresee you would enjoy this. I had a great time with it. It was fun, and it was a nice little bow on the end of the Warren story on screen. But yeah, guys, that's my cheeky little review of The Conjuring Last Rites. Write down below if you've seen it. What are your thoughts on it? But more importantly, what is your favourite Conjuring movie? And of course, if you made it this far into the episode, please give me a thumbs up because your love and support keeps me going, because I just love movies, and I assume you do as well. And of course, I give out an episode weekly, so hit that follow icon, and I'll see you back here next week for the next review. But until then, stay spooky, kids.